Good morning, everyone. This is your man, Don Dunbar. Just on my way to office today, but I want to share with you something that I just thought was interesting. Yesterday, I posted up on Facebook the about money burning, because that's what rental is. I am saying if you're renting, you're burning your money, but there has to be a plan in action if you plan to rent. And what I mean by that is, if you plan to rent using Section 8 or using any program to rent, it shouldn't be a lifetime decision to rent. And what I mean by that is this. I've met people who've been renting for 20 years. Some people have been to my workshops 2, maybe 3 times and still haven't bought a home. And I used to say all the time when the rent was $600, so you know how long ago that was, that rent is going to go up. Same amount of rent now, $2,200 or more. What I'm saying is, if you're in a position to rent and you have to rent, plan accordingly. Set up your budget, set up your plan, and work your plan. Because you're in a rental position, don't be in one forever. I mean, I've talked to people who they won't give up their Section 8. They have, the rent is inexpensive, but they'll stay in poverty-stricken conditions to keep Section 8. And I worked at Oakland Housing Authority, and they have them all over the United States. But I worked there, and what they do every year is they check through your tax records what you got going on financially, so that they can adjust your rents accordingly. And I had a woman just the other day tell me she didn't want to take the house I had, which I was giving to her at a discount, so she can move out of her 1-bedroom, smaller apartment to a larger apartment. And she said she didn't want to move because they were going to increase her rent. But that's because you had advanced your life. And that's the mindset that we have out here, and we don't develop wealth because we stay stuck in the poverty-stricken mindset. Like that particular woman, she did not want to increase her life to pay the rent, where she could have been stacking her money while she's advancing in life, saving her money. If it was no more than $100 a paycheck, and she's been renting for 10, 15 years, you do the math. And I mean, I'm not saying that you can get in a situation and have your rental situation where you buy your house in a year or 2 years. It doesn't work like that. It's a process that may take some time, because 1, you got to get your credit together. 2, you got to save your money for your down payment, which they have down payment programs everywhere. You just have to go through the challenges or go through the trainings to get the certificates to get the money, because everybody's trying to help individuals build wealth. But it's a process. Just like it takes you a little bit of time to mess up, it takes you just as much time to get it together. And what I mean by that is, okay, right now you may be renting, but that's not a lifetime decision. If you're renting and you're putting your money together, and while you're renting, you're saving your money and you're working on your credit and you getting things together, that means you have to put yourself on a budget. Because at the end of the day, the plan is to do better for you and your family. And I mean this with all my heart. If you have children and they're 3 or 4 years old, it is better to process it now and get your property, because if you get your property by the time they get in the 2nd or 3rd grade, you have a better leverage to build wealth so that you can do better for yourself and your family. That's all it is. I'm not saying renting is a bad thing. I'm just saying, if you're not putting your plan in place to get out of the renting cycle, to own your property, I'm not saying buy the most fabulous house. I'm not saying get in do more than what you can afford, because the lender is not going to allow you to do that. But I'm saying put yourself in a better position than staying in a rental position all your life. It doesn't make any sense, because you're making a mortgage payment. It's just not yours. So the decision is, do I want to continue paying for someone else's house and get mad when I done paid off the house for them, and now I got to move and I don't get a dime out of the deal because I didn't pay for it. And that's the mentality that we have out here in the Bay Area, and the rents are going up. It's very expensive to live here. So you have to have a plan in place. And I'm not saying come to me and work, but I'm just saying get with someone to help you get yourself together. There's a lot of places to help you financially, and you have to pay for it. But there's a lot of things you can do, because Dr. Google got it online, how you can do that, and it'll work for you. But you got to do that. You can't talk about it, be about it. Because if you don't put yourself in a position to do better, who's going to do it for you? And you can't blame the government. You can't blame the president. You can't. He had his own problems. So listen, I'm not bashing anybody that's paying rent. All I'm saying is get in a position to do better. If your credit is bad, work on your credit first. If you don't have the money saved up, start putting away a little bit of money, a little bit at a time. Because you know us, every holiday we got to be sharp. Every holiday we got to have on new outfits, new this, new that, hair, all that stuff. But the smartest person is the individual that stacks their money, get their credit together, and buy them real estate. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones that's winning. And I'm not saying that, it's all good. Since you got money, you're going to go buy you a nice car. But if you pulling up to an apartment in a nice car and you don't own the apartment, that's crazy. If your mama needs a place and you can't offer her a place to stay of your own without asking the manager, can you move your mom in? That's crazy. As people, we need to step our game up and do better for ourselves. And no one's going to do that but us. And we can have all the seminars in the world about wealth building, black wealth building, but if we don't do anything to help ourselves, because that's your credit, that's your job you're going to every day, that's your rent you paying every day, and you can't get mad at nobody if you don't try to fix it. And it's a shame to have a $50,000 car or $80,000 car and you still rent an apartment. That is ludicrous. That's crazy. So hey, it's your man Don Dunbar, Dunbar Real Estate Group. I just want to say that. Oh yeah. And for you individuals that's spiritual, there is a scripture, a chapter that talks about home ownership. It's in Jeremiah 33. It's a long chapter. Read it in NIV or something simple. King James is too complex, but read it in a simple context and you will see about home ownership and the whole process. God promised us that through his Old Testament scriptures. So look, it's your man Don Dunbar, Dunbar Real Estate Group. If you got a chance, holler at me. If not, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. I'll post stuff up like this on the regular. You have a good day. Talk to you soon.